Rodney.
Oh, hi, Rodney.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh my gosh, one of those days, but it got quiet and then it got busy again. So I'm good though.
Okay, awesome to hear. Yeah, I know it can be crazy some days, and then you'll have like that 1 hour where you're like, oh wait, now what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, Rodney, thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it. Our fans are really looking forward to somebody in the finance realm coming on to talk about their experience in their 20s. Me and Landon, we created this project because back when the 2020 pandemic started, we had noticed a lot of our friends, they were losing job offers or getting those job offers extended out. And we looked back and we saw that, there's a lot of people that helped us out throughout college, and they gave us some really great advice. And it really started when they were in their 20s, where they were kind of learning about everything. So that's kind of why we're gaining all these influential people for our series, and we thought you'd be an amazing addition to it.
Well, I appreciate that. Okay, Bruce is a dear friend and he does great work for my firm, so I was happy to accept.
Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. And I guess we'll get started with kind of our first question here. So, when you were receiving your finance degree in college, what made you want to choose investing as your focus, and what advice do you have for students that are still trying to figure out what their focus should be with a finance degree?
Sure. I attended a liberal arts college in Atlanta, Morehouse College. They were known for a strong business program, but I didn't know what area within business I wanted to focus on. So in between my freshman and sophomore year, I met a gentleman who worked on Wall Street who happened to be from Memphis. And he was a family friend, and my dad suggested that I meet him. So I met him. He told me a little bit about investment banking and if I were ever in the New York area to stop by. Well, I was fortunate after my sophomore year to go to New York. I looked him up, stopped by his office at Kidder Peabody, that was the name of the firm, which was a well-established Wall Street firm back in the day. And I was just overwhelmed with seeing a trading floor, just the plush office space and all these people running around in tents and doing transactions. I had no idea what type of transactions, but I just basically said, whatever you're doing, I want to do. So I went back to school off of his advice and focused on banking and finance within the business department. And then I got my first internship at First Chicago here in Chicago during the summer in between my junior and senior year. And then I interviewed on campus for major money center banks and ended up starting my career with Citicorp in New York.
That's super interesting. So, Rodney, then how were you able to get into the portfolio management career field? And what advice do you have for students and young professionals that are trying to stand out?
Sure. Investment banking is usually a firm that's pretty diverse across different business lines. So I was fortunate to be at Wall Street firms like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers that had many divisions where you could rotate and decide ultimately what you want to do. So during those experiences and during my last experience at Morgan Keegan, a boutique firm in my hometown, Memphis, I got a chance to work on some of the areas that involved advisory services, where you would be getting a fee for your services versus a fee for a transaction, like an M&A deal or a high yield transaction. So at Morgan Keegan, we actually founded a private equity fund of funds vehicle where we raised capital from retail and institutional investors. We formed a limited partnership structure, and we actually allocated that money to sub-managers, private equity firms. So it was that experience that I really enjoyed, the fee income basis of that product. And that's what led me to start doing more research and looking at asset management as an asset class within the fee advisory service business.
So, Rodney, yeah, we saw just from your biography and a bunch of other things on you that you had obviously started your career in investment banking. And as you said, the rotational program helped you kind of learn about what kind or what part of investment banking you should go into. What made you want to switch from the investment banking into owning your own capital management firm?
Yeah, sure. Great question. When I was in Memphis, I was a vice president, co-heading up that fund to funds product. My boss, Alan Morgan, the founder of Morgan Keegan, actually sold the firm to Regions Bank in Birmingham. And I believe at the time he became the second largest shareholder in Regions. And he also made about $100 million on the sale of the business. So from that point, I recognized that ownership was important to me. While I had a great career on Wall Street and even at a boutique firm in my hometown, I really didn't have any stake in the business other than the stock I owned in my 401k. It wasn't an impactful, meaningful amount that was going to make me participate in that upside, such as my former boss. So from that point, I started thinking about what I wanted to do. And I approached him and asked him to support my endeavor. And he did, obviously. And we ended up forming Channing Capital Management, where they helped us. They allocated our first $70 million under management, and then I had some private investors that invested alongside us in the business. I also had a bank out of Memphis, First Tennessee Bank, that was also an investor. So that was the launch of Channing Capital Management, which is now $2.2 billion in total assets under management.
That's amazing. And I love how you're really preaching the importance of ownership, and then also how you used your prior connections through your network to help launch Channing Capital. So now, with that being said, you operate one of the largest minority-owned capital management firms in the United States. It's super huge. So what were some of the lessons, the major lessons that you learned while you were in your 20s that allowed you to help grow Channing Capital to what it's become today?
Sure. First of all, you have to have a very strong vision for yourself. You got to have a vision that you can't even see the success that is out there for you. Then behind the vision, you have to put dedication and hard work. You're right. The networking is as only good as the follow-up. Being dogmatic about getting that follow-up to make sure that you're achieving your dream. It was not easy raising the capital. It wasn't easy getting a Regions Morgan Keegan to allocate $70 million to a startup. But certainly I leveraged the contacts and networking, and I sold myself along with my business partners, their background and experience in investment management. Collectively, we had a compelling story. So my advice is find something you enjoy, that you're passionate about, exploit your networks, and make sure that you're working harder than anyone in the firm. I mean, you have to be the first one in and the last one out, closing the door each day and night.
And Rodney, now that you're at the top now of your own firm, what do you look like? What do you look for in the younger employees? So a new analyst coming in, what are some key things you look for, and how can they really be the best analyst for your company?
Yeah, well, we have a pretty diverse firm. It's analysts, it's people on the trading desk, in client service and marketing. So I'll just make this broad statement for all the young professionals. You obviously have to be passionate, bright, and hungry to learn. Beyond that, you'll see that early on in people where they're taking an ownership mentality, although they're not an owner yet. I look for that. Asking me, do I need any help on any projects? Hi, I have some free time. Can I work on this? I want to learn about trading. Those are the type of people that you see clearly as people that could rise up and be rising stars. Beyond that, it's important for us to develop them and coach them. I'm a pretty hands-off person. I believe in delegating and letting people kind of learn on their own first, and then obviously I'm there to guide and coach and teach. But I think the best learners are ones that have curiosity, intellectual curiosity, and want to try things out on their own first.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think the hunger to learn more is very important. And I see that even in what I do at my job today. It's just, if I'm not doing anything, I need to find something for me to do, because even if it might not be the most important or dire task, but I could still learn a lot from it. So
absolutely.
Well, Landon, did you have any other questions for Rodney today?
No, I do not. But Rodney, this was truly a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to speak with us today. As Michael stated earlier, we're really doing this for a strong purpose, rooted in a very strong mission, trying to just provide people with the best advice from the most influential people. So I'm very, very happy that Michael had an opportunity to meet with you and that you were able to come on today. So thank you.
Any questions or follow-up, we're here. We're very involved in the local community, and we like giving young people advice. So anything I can do to help your initiative, let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rodney, and have a nice rest of your day as well.
Thank you.
See you, Rodney.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.